What's going on, my good people? This your boy, Lop Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Virginia State University and Norfolk State University. This is going to be an interesting band battle. I got a chance to see them go head to head last year, and it was a very tight battle then. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to pull off this season. Hey, these bands are like top tier, as far as them showcasing their strengths, there was no zero quarter we get in this footage, but they had a halftime footage and they had a short fifth quarter. But I wanted to give it a grade and give my honest opinion about it and everything, and that's it. Definitely give them a record. This is the beginning of the season, so this is my first time seeing both of these bands anyway. So I'll be glad to see this now. The only thing is, one of these bands will be getting the loss, but hey, they can definitely do better later on. Who knows? It might be a tie. I don't know what to expect from this battle. Okay. Now, what I would say before we get into the action is that this is my opinion, and definitely post your opinion below, but don't bash your boy. Okay, please don't bash your boy. Sometimes people get in their feelings because they disagree or whatnot, and I just like, hey, this is just my opinion. Okay, at the end of the day, this is just me doing this for fun. Okay. So with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, and breakdown. Maximum points they can make all together is 25. I have a creative department. With their creativity, if they do something unique or death-defying on the field, they would push their grade. Now, this is for the field show. Okay, now that definitely looks different in the field, but we'll go over that skill when we get there. Okay, so both of these bands excel very well in halftime, so I'm not expecting nothing less from them. Okay, I'll be shocked if something goes bad, but let's get into the action. All right, Virginia State's first, since this is Norfolk's home. Shout out to Ricky the Realist for capturing this footage.
Far above the apparatus, on its lofty hill, stands the school we love so dear, and we always will. It is with the utmost pleasure that I bring to you the most marvelous musical masterpiece on the East, the Virginia State University Marching Trojan Explosion, under the dynamic direction of Dr. Taylor L. Whitehead Sr. And now, drum majors, Mr. Green, Mr. Plummer, and the first female drum major in 23 years, Miss Stevens. Since this battle is with the Spartan, let's smoke the green and gold and turn the Legion into a milk carton.
They start off with some smoke. Okay. I was not expecting it. That was dope.
The 757 Virginia State University Department of Music proudly presents to you the 2025 edition of the Marching Trojan Explosion. And now prepare to get off the wall as we bring to you the classic Michael Jackson hit, Rock. The king of pop.
sound very good. Look very clean.
The explosion will be representing for the state of Virginia at the Capitol Battle of the Bands on Sunday, September 28th at the University of Maryland College Park. Just visit today www.capitolbotv.com. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the explosion! And now, hold on to your seats as we bring to you the jewels of the CI family, the lovely ladies of the Essence of Tour, as they perform to Usher's Scream.
They did real good.
The explosion slows it down just a little bit as we bring to you the dynamic, lovely ladies of the Satin Diva flag line, performing to the sounds of Joe, the classic R&B hit, All the Things.
Woo! Shout out to the Dynamics.
This is the explosion, the sound that soothes the soul.
Woo! That was pretty.
Get ready, it's a show time as we bring to you another dazzling dance routine of the Trojan explosion. It's time to get down, funky man, get loose, so kick back and dig. Do this, let's do this. Explosion. Let's kill it.
Okay.
Yes, you know what's up, slide. Little state. See like that. We know what's up.
Definitely got the energy.
Let's go.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed another stellar performance by the Virginia State University marching champion exclusive.
Okay. Okay, I'll see y'all. Alright, let's get at a grade. Alright, so entrance, I want to give that a 5. Songs was a 5. Formations, I'm going to give them a 5. Dancers, a 5. Breakdown, I'm going to give them a 3. Creativity, I'm going to give them a 4. Okay? Very strong for the majority. Not too many complaints. One thing I would say is that I would want them to have one more feature, dance feature, and I think they would have had like a perfect grade almost, you know? So, just wanted one more feature. That's all. But definitely good though. For this to be the beginning of the season, not bad. They got a 27. Not bad, Virginia State. Not bad at all. Alright. So, we got Norfolk next. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. Again, if y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. If you would like to be a part of the membership program, it's $2 a month. $2 a month, you get perks. You get a chance to see band battles from different eras, and you get to make adjustments on what more bands divisions that we'll see, such as SWAC, Meek, Seek, you name it. And you have that strategical advantage over the subscribers, okay? So, also, if you would like to still donate to the channel but not be a member, you can still hit that thank you tab at the bottom. Everything, it will go into me affording YouTube Premium. So with YouTube Premium, that's just for me to not come across these commercials fluently. And that just helps me in the long run. And I appreciate you in the long term as well. And I would give you a special shout out just to donate or just being part of the membership program. So thank y'all so much again. Let's get into Norfolk. Now I would say this, Virginia State and Norfolk had a drumline battle. And I will be grading that separately, but that's only for the members. So just want to throw that out there if y'all wanted to see who won that.
Being myself is the boldest thing I can do. My own self. Proud.
Shout out to Ricky Williams. That's dope. Dope interest. Everybody got their knees up. This is what I'm talking about, though. That's what the membership program will prevent this from happening.
Means that the Spartans are now on a mission. Return the page and set the stage to picture the decade and Spartan guard a black street set to walk. My darling fellow, every time your emotions start to show, this is Black Street. Before you go.
One second, y'all. You better sing, trombones.
Y'all know what time it is. Put those headphones on. Shine it out. Let me see you wave from side to side.
That was nice. I can definitely tell it's the beginning of the season, though.
Set fire to the field of every strife. If we leave it, those like flames will rise. No other.
That was dope. That routine alone gave them all their creative points. That routine alone.
Don't trust roaches to leave on their own. Trust Raid.
Alright, let's get that a grade. Alright. So, creativity, I'm going to give them a 5. Breakdown, I'm going to give them a 3. Dancers, I'm going to give them a 5. If it wasn't for the dancers, they wouldn't have got that many creative points. The dancers really pushed them for that. Formations, I'm going to give them a 5. Songs, I'm going to give them a 4. Entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Alright, only reason why I gave songs a 4 was simple because there's some stuff that need to be worked on the high brass, especially when we talked about when they played that slow jam. And then when we get to the breakdown, the tubas were not together when they hit that first note in the beginning. Okay, so they kind of hurt them. So, you know, if I'm like this, I get sympathy if y'all not marching, but, well, if y'all marching, but if y'all not marching, you know, you got to work on that. But for the most part, everything else is pretty decent. You know, let's see what that grade looks like, though. They got a 27. They got a 27. So, current standings right now. Okay, current standings right now. It was a tie in the halftime. Okay, they both 27 and 27. Okay, they both got some interesting things going on with them, and you know, hey, they gave us a strong field show for both. You know, if I was just grading this individually, they would both have a passing grade. But right now, they're currently tied. Now, what's going to change is in the fifth. Who was stronger in the fifth? So it comes down to the fifth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, before we get into the fifth, I want to acknowledge something because I think there's some confusion out there as well. When I grade fifth, you know, I have a certain scale. Okay, and with this scale, I'm grading, you know, certain things. Okay. But I'm not harping on just arrangements. I'm grading everything. Some people think a band won because of the arrangement. I'm more so about the execution of the arrangement, if that makes sense. Okay? I don't care what you play, but if it ain't good, it's not good. That's just me. Okay? So I wanted to throw that out there before we even get started. Okay? Now, with that being said, there's only one of me. I can only capture what I can only capture. So, you know, if I can catch one thing, good. If I can't catch it, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, this is just my honest opinion on the take of the battle. Okay? So, with that being said, please look to the cards next to me so you know who we'll be grading. We're going to be grading for fifth quarter song selection, power, articulation, arrangement, and overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50. So, one thing I am expecting out of both of these bands is for them to sound clean. Now, granted, this is the beginning of the year, so I'm not expecting everything to be as clean, but I want to see if they can hang in there with each other. Okay, now this is a short fifth, so I don't think that both of their books are not all the way there yet, just yet, but I am excited to see what they're going to bring. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the action. Virginia State's first. What a dope intro. Okay, Tubers. Let's go back. All right. I'm gonna give that almost a perfect. Only reason I'm gonna say it's almost a perfect because I feel like in the beginning it was strong, but when we got close to the end, the high breath started dying out. Everything else was good for the majority. I just felt like I just need to work on just getting those small things going on for them. I mean, everything else, like I said, was straight. So almost a perfect. Everything gets a 10 besides cleanness. Okay? Moving on. Hey, Tubers. Alright. So, song selection, I'm going to give it a 10. Power is a 10. Articulation is 10. Arrangements 10. Cleanness is a 9. I feel like the everything was good. The high breath started dying down. So, they kind of had the same thing happen with Virginia State. I kind of feel like the high brass needed to be tuned just a tad bit better. Like, just hitting those phrases just a little bit better. But everything else was good. Almost a perfect. Good job. It's my shit. Kick trombone. Alright, let's get that a grade. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. And the only reason why I didn't give it is like when they got close to the end, it's like everything was good until we got close to the end. You know, I felt like everything was just there. And by the way, they get a pen, by the way, for that. If I was to pull that on a song just because of this year, I would have pulled that song out too. I fuck with that song. But if I'm going to give it something, I just feel like, it just needed to be just sprucing up just a tad bit. I mean, consistency is a thing. And so it's right there. Like, literally right there. I'm kind of mad that they didn't, So that's just me, though. Almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. Good job. Slow it down, man. Yes, Norfolk. Yes, Will Williams, I hear y'all. Woo! Yeah. Yes, indeed. Everything about that song was right. I'm telling you, fam. Everything about that was right. No complaints at all. No complaints at all. That's that shit right there. That's that shit. Man, when I tell you them just, it was smooth. Everybody played together. Nobody was out trying to outdo anybody. They played in pocket. And that's what I appreciated the most from this piece from them. Everything was there. Everything was there. Okay? So far in the battle, Norfolk's up by 1. Okay. Okay. Let's get that a grade. Man, that was nice. Man, like for real. It was very clean, very to the point, very direct. I have no true complaints about that piece from them. Everything was on point. I appreciate that for them. They took their time with that. That's one thing I like about this. They definitely took their time with that piece. And like I said about Norfolk, nobody was out trying to do anybody. It's the same thing with Virginia right now. Nobody was out there trying to outdo each other. So it kind of played in the pocket. Moving on. Woo! Yes, Norfolk. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, can we talk about that pen? That pen was crucial. Oh my gosh. That pen was, ooh. Norfolk, when they get that pen going, that's a dangerous thing. Oh shit. That's a dangerous thing right there, man. Alright, so let's get that a grade. So sound selection is 10. Powers 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10. If I could rate it high, I would. Cleanness, I'm gonna give them a 9. There was some parts in there, and again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. This is the beginning of the season. I said this earlier. I'm not expecting everything to be clean, but we want to see how far they can push it. So that piece alone, it has the potential to be very, very great and hit very, very direct. One thing I would add to it is that high brass needs to be worked on, needs to be sprucing up on just a tad bit. Like before they got to the tuba break, somebody hung over, and then when we got close to the end, there was some parts that needed to be slightly cleaner as well. Just slightly. Everybody else was good. Just some small dust it off some. That shit's gonna be awesome. So with that being said, now it's an even game again. It's even the game again. Norfolk lost that lead on that one, but very strong song selection. So let's continue on. Alright, let's get at a grade. So, what needs to be worked on that? Alright. Sound selection, I'm going to give them a 10. Power, I'm going to give them a 10. Articulation, I'm going to give them a 9. Arrangements, 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. It was not the strongest song of the night. I would add that. Baritones, it was not smashing right. There was some parts that some phrases needed to be completed that were not completed. You feel me? There were some phrases that needed to be completed and it was not completed. There were some parts also that were just straight up muddy. Okay, so definitely need some work on that. But that's one of those things that can, hurt a band. Is that book. And I can tell that this is one of those books they threw out there because I think they running out of material, but that one needs some more work. A lot of work. Alright, it's not horrible, but it needs some work. So, moving on. Oh, they about to play the exit song. Still going great for the bad heads, though. Yes. Alright, let's get at a grade. This is technically speaking their exit zone. For those who are new to my channel, they have an exit zone. They play that before they leave in the stadium for the majority, and so it's just something, it's a traditional thing. So sound selection, I'm not going to hurt them bad because of that, is a 9. Power is 10. Articulation, I'm giving them a 10. Arrangement's 10. Cleanness, I'm giving them a 10. Okay? So they got a 49. What I would add to that, just almost a perfect, what I would say about that is that high brass definitely needs to be worked on. I could have doctored though. I could have doctored low, but I feel like it wasn't as bad as it could have been, if that makes sense. So I would say that they definitely need to pull back some layers on this just to make sure that they sprucing it up some more. Okay? Because I could have went all over the place with that, but that's just me though. Alright? So, but you know, it's kind of like a default type of situation because they have to play that, so I'm not really mad at them for that. But we want to give it a grade. Alright? So, let's give that a grade. So, who won this battle, ladies and gentlemen? Who won this battle? In halftime, it was a tie. And in the fifth, they were neck and neck, neck and neck. One got the edge, one caught up, but one hurt themselves with their last song. Okay? And so, when we rate this, you know, again, it's just my honest opinion. You know, you can comment what you believe in down below, but don't criticize your boy in the comment section. Okay? I've done everything to the best of my ability to give you fair and honest content, and this is me coming in from the hip. But I'm going to give it to Norfolk State with this one. Alright? Norfolk with the dub on this one. But for the people who from Virginia State, they put up a fight. So this won't be the last time y'all see me. Okay? Now, I know y'all see in this tab right here. Okay, where it says drumline battle. Okay, I will be grading that drumline battle as well. Okay, and that will be for my members only. Okay? So, be a part of this family if you want to see that video. Okay? If you're a percussionist or you want to see how that looks on the other side, please consider subscribing, and not subscribing, but be a part of this membership program and do that, okay? But what's the verdict? How I feel about it? So yes, Norfolk won, but there's some things for both bands that need to be worked on, okay? So on a side note, Norfolk, we'll start with the winner and we get to Virginia. Norfolk, what I would say is that they just need to really tighten up on their high brass. Their high brass need to be worked on. They need to be fine-tuned some more, a little bit more. They really need to get that going, okay, for them. And I think they'll be straight. All right. Now, when we look at Virginia State, high brass as well. High brass as well. I would add this too. I don't know if that was baritones or what, but I just felt like that last song needed to be definitely worked on a lot. Okay, so definitely next time I do see y'all, I want that song to be A1, top tier, ready to go. Okay, so I really would want them to have that going for themselves. But I mean, for the majority, it was a strong battle from both bands. And again, I want to remind y'all, this is the beginning of the season. Okay, this is the beginning of the season, and I enjoyed watching this battle from both of these bands. They were very, very, very entertaining. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. And like I tell you always, deuces.